The Disney Parks Podcast is now on Stitcher, radio on demand. You can listen to us on your iPhone, Android phone, Kindle Fire, and other devices using the Stitcher application. Find it free on your App Store or at Stitcher.com. Now on Stitcher, radio on demand. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Disney Parks Podcast, show number 0042. We want to welcome each and every one of you, and we would encourage you to subscribe to us on iTunes, to rate us, review us, and you can find us at DisneyParksPodcast.com. You can also find us all across the internet on Facebook and Twitter at DisneyPK, and we encourage you to call the Disney Parks Podcast hotline at 407-476-8898. My name is Parkhopper John, and I come to you from the www.parkhoppers.com website. Normally, my cohort in crime, my lovely wife, Parkhopper Sid, is here, and she could not make it this week, but we are joined by the lovely and talented Ms. Krista Joy from DisneyWays.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show.
And that's awesome. See, you're a pro at this. That's great. That's great. And as always, I'm joined by my cohort in Disney crime, the lovable, the huggable. You can't get enough of them, Mr. Tony Casanova from Disney by the Numbers.
15 puppies. How marvelous. How marvelous. Really, that was a dead-on Cruella, right? That was perfect.
That was, I cried, actually. If there's any way that I could give you a golf clap, I would right now.
Oh, wow.
So that's...
I don't know if I was channeling my inner Glenn Close for that.
Well, you were doing something, buddy.
Fabulous.
Babu, my friend. Apparently, these are the droids you're looking for because the Star Wars Droid Factory is expanding to new locations at Disney Parks. In May 2012, Disney opened the first ever Star Wars Droid Factory experience at Disney's Hollywood studio. And Disney is delighted to announce that they have expanded the Build Your Own Droid experience to new locations at the Disneyland Park in California and downtown Disney Marketplace here in Florida. A Droid Factory build station opened at Once Upon a Time, the downtown Disney Marketplace, earlier this month. For California, the new build station can be found in the Star Trader at Tomorrowland in the Disneyland Park starting April 13th. Guests are able to build astromech droids from the Star Wars galaxy, and the new experiences will feature more build stations for guests to make their own droid action figures. They were designed as a square, which can accommodate up to 4 guests at one time. That's 2 more build stations than the current version at the Tatooine Traders at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And I think they're going to need every little bit of space they can, especially with Star Wars weekends coming. Those things are packed during that weekend. So
last year there was over a 90-minute wait to make a droid.
To make a droid?
To make a droid, yeah. I also wanted to know, and they didn't mention in this article or even online that I could find, if they raised the prices. I'm sure they have.
I'm sure you're not going to find that out until you actually get there and go to pay for it.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Chris? Are you in any way excited about Star Wars or Star Wars weekends, or are you just simply a Disney person?
I'm excited. It's great when they bring in different things like that and just kind of, switch it up a little bit and give people a reason to come. That's, something they're super excited about. We know right. Disney or Star Wars fans are really into Star Wars, and they tend to have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, I think it brings a lot to the park. So I'm excited.
That's cool. Now, do you have kids?
I do. I have an 18-year-old son and a 16-year-old son and a husband.
Were they into Star Wars at all?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Now here's the funny thing. My wife is a complete Star Wars geek.
Wow,
and the funny thing is, and the thing is about her is she is really she's old school Star Wars. Like, we kind of like the 3 newest ones, but she really lives for the old school Star Wars. So, we love to go out there and do the hyperspace hoopla and stuff. But we've never built a droid. We didn't do the droid thing. We didn't do the carbonite thing. I'm feeling like we're kind of missing out here.
I have 2 droids from the first year. I went out and made some droids.
Now, did you just build the droids, or did you get the ones with the Mickey Mouse ears, the R2 MK?
I have ones with mouse ears. It had to be with a mouse ear. But this year, this is the first year that Star Wars is integrated into the synergy of all things Disney. And as we saw the other night, John, they're certainly not afraid to put Star Wars on a T-shirt anymore.
Oh my Lord! We were at Downtown Disney. Tony and I were the other day, and we popped into D Street, as we are wont to do. And I really have to work hard to get Tony out of D Street with his wallet intact. And they always have really cool pop culture stuff, and they had a lot of Star Wars stuff. But the other day, it seemed like they had a plethora of Star Wars stuff, and it's really funny because they're starting to really promote the cross. The Star Wars and Disney stuff. Right. So they had a T-shirt that had like Darth Vader holding a Mickey head on a stick. That was kind of cool.
On Astro Orbiter.
Yeah, on a Star Orbiter. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah. Moved over to the dark side for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. That's what my family said when I started going to Disney all the time.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what they do this year. I'm gonna have to pop in Star Wars weekends. I think once or twice just to.
Yeah, pack a lunch, buddy.
Yeah, pack a lot of things. Pack water, pack patience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So April 15th to April 21st, 2013, Disney has brought back limited time magic surprises. And this time it's especially for fans of Disney fairies. And for a limited time, Tinkerbell will be joined by even more of her Disney fairy friends when they appear at Pixie Hollow in Disneyland Park or Tinkerbell's Magical Nook at Magic Kingdom Park. Flying in for the occasion could be Fawn, Iridessa, Rosetta, Silver Mist, Vidya, or even Terrence, the pixie dust keeper himself. It's all part of limited time magic running from April 15th through the 21st. And they do have the times listed here that you can see the Disney fairies at both parks. And it's actually the same time. So Tinkerbell's Magical Nook at Magic Kingdom Park, they'll be appearing 9:15 a.m. to 10 p.m., all 7 days. And Pixie Hollow at Disneyland Park is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 9 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. Friday, and 8 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. So I just came from Magic Kingdom Park where I got to see some of the fairies, and they were very entertaining. They were so funny. We had a really good time with them, got some good pictures. Should be fun.
That is probably the longest character greeting time I've ever seen.
Yeah.
9:15 to 10 p.m. Mm-hmm. That's a good, almost solid.
They're working
13
the fairies.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah, they're making them work.
Wow. Now, are all of them out at the same time, or is it one at a time?
It's select.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Fawn was out, and unfortunately I didn't get to see Terrence because I thought that would have been kind of cool. But it's just select ones. Tinkerbell's always there, I think.
Oh, okay.
Well, she doesn't want to, you can't have Tinkerbell there. You can't not have Tinkerbell there.
Can't have her. It's her magical nook. So
That's right. Yeah. Somebody's moving into her magical nook, ladies and gentlemen. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And did they have anything special up for the limited time magic, or is it the same meet and greet except now they just got more people there?
Mm.
Well, they are giving out, as they did before with the Long Lost Friends Week and the others, they've been giving out the little cards with the signatures already on them. Yeah. And for the Pixies, it's actually a little leaf-shaped card, which is really cute. And then each of the fairies have signed their names. Tinkerbell's is in gold, which I noticed I thought hers was really cool. So that's a little bit different. They're leaves this time. So
well, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it kind of hurries everybody through, so you don't have to wait as long for the signatures and all that. I think it's kind of a good idea.
I may have to go visit a fairy this week.
Yeah, you should. Get your picture taken.
There's nothing sadder than an adult male standing next to Tinkerbell. I have plenty of pictures of that image, but just looking back, that looks so terrible.
That's true, my friend.
Snow White, Cinderella, it's not too bad, but when you're standing next to Tinkerbell, it just feels wrong.
I have that same opinion about Alice.
Yeah.
Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I'm the same way because it just looks funky.
Really?
But yeah, I don't know what it is, But we were at Epcot the other day, and she was out there, and then there was this one lone dude standing there, and my buddy was there, and I kind of elbowed him and said, "Anything about that picture look funny to you?" And he was like, "Yeah, but you know what? It's Disney. It's all good." And so I thought that was a great attitude. I like that. It's all Disney, man. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel a little weird myself. I don't really like to stand in line for characters by myself either, which I know people are always like, "Why not? It's fine." But I feel just kind of weird. But if other people are with me, then I'm all good. I'm like, "Let's do it."
Yeah, I was at Magic Kingdom one time, like really early, like right at rope drop, and I was walking around with some friends of ours. We were doing some videotaping, and the funny thing is when they do character meet and greets early in the morning, they're just standing there, and unless there's people there to greet them, there's really nothing they can do. And my favorite character is Stitch, and so Stitch is walking by, and he's just kind of standing there. I made a beeline to Stitch and just gave him this big hug, and I was like a 12-year-old. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Stitch!" And then I realized how ridiculous I looked running over there. I was like, "Stitch," and I just kind of made a scene.
It's all good at Disney World.
That's right. That's
you can get away with that stuff there.
That's like me chasing down Buzz over in Tomorrowland.
Yeah, but you're trying to steal the suit, though.
You're stalking Buzz for a suit.
I would do that. I'd take his suit if he gave it up.
It would look good on you. Why not?
Yeah. Probably be a little small or a little big, maybe.
That's something to work towards, Tony.
Yeah.
Fitting into Buzz Lightyear.
I'll have to eat my Wheaties in the morning. All right, let's move on to news story number Trey. And I'm using my French accent because this is coming from Disneyland Paris. Yeah, oui. On April 12th was the 21st anniversary opening of Disneyland Paris. And the resort is celebrating by extending their incredibly popular 20th anniversary celebration through September 30th, 2013. That's what I love about Disney. They can make a celebration go on for years. So one of the biggest hits of the past year has been the new nighttime spectacular called Disney Dreams, in which Peter Pan Shadow takes us on a journey into the great moments of Disney animation. So, not to contest on their laurels, the creative team has introduced some enhancements to the show, just in time for this beautiful extended celebration. Following the outstanding success of the show, Peter's mischievous shadow will be taking us on new adventures into worlds of The Lion King and Brave. These two new scenes were chosen by fans, and it's our way of saying thank you for celebrating the 20th anniversary with us. Audiences enjoying Disney Dreams will soon become part of these moments themselves with this summer's edition of Disney's Light Ears, interactive Mickey Mouse ears, hats similar to the Glow with the Show ears available in Disneyland Resort. Each guest wearing a pair of Disney Light Ears will become ever-changing pixie of color, synchronized in real time with the show, adding another layer of fun to the spectacular. It's great to see the audience react so positively towards the show. It makes all the hard work worth the effort, adds a Disney executive. Dreams will be like the movie Fantasia. It will always be refreshed and changing. I'm glad they're using the ears. But first, why did they have to change the name of them? I thought Glow with the Show was perfect. This is a show. Maybe that doesn't translate in French? Glow with the Show? Maybe it means something else in French? I don't know in French.
Or maybe they're each park, each specific area gets their own title.
Yeah.
Like you have Glow with the Show, you have Light Ears, and Magic Kingdom will have, cheap knockoff Mickey ears that may or may not work.
I'm glad that they're doing it. And then I have hope that at least this may come to Florida for, I don't know, maybe the Animal Kingdom 15th anniversary. There's so many shows there to see that my ears would want to glow.
Yeah, absolutely. For those of you who may or may not know, Animal Kingdom is Tony's absolute favorite park. And I say that with my tongue firmly planted in my cheek.
It is a 15-year park. No, this is a great addition. I'd love to see video of this. Hint, John. Or maybe you can bring me back some of these light years.
I will gladly do so. I'm very excited. I don't think we've announced it here. I'm actually doing an adventure by Disney going to Ireland in June. And one of the things that we decided that we wanted to do is we can't be in Europe for any extended amount of time and not go over to Disneyland Paris. And so we're going to take 3 days and we're going to stay over at Disneyland Paris. We're going to catch as much as we can in 3 days. And so I'm excited about seeing the new show. I'm very glad that they're keeping it through September so I get to see it. And what I'm fascinated with is I want to see how Peter Pan's shadow is going to be displayed and how they're going to use that to tell the story. I think that's going to be
awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking forward to visiting a new park that I've never been in. I won't be able to speak the language, but you know what? Who cares? I'm at Disney.
Yeah, you'll speak the Disney language.
Yeah, yeah. Just point with your ears.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but that is an interesting point that they decided to use Peter's shadow as
That's really cool. It sounds like it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the kind of the story narrator. That's what I'm thinking. He's the one taking us on this journey. Interesting.
Yeah, which is funny because, let's see, we have Jiminy Cricket here for Wishes.
Yeah.
Over at Disneyland, it's Julie Andrews, the voice of Mary Poppins.
Right.
I mean, I wonder why they decided to use Peter Pan because he's tied to London.
Yeah. I think that's what they're hoping. It's kind of a Euro story.
He might be big in France. You know how David Hasselhoff's big in Germany. Well,
oh yeah,
Peter Pan's probably really big in France.
Jerry Lewis is big in
France.
In France, yeah.
But he's not a Disney character. I mean, he could probably pass for one, but
not now. He can't.
But Peter, how did we get to Neverland? How did we get to Brave? We're just some pixie dust, I assume.
Go to the Eiffel Tower and hang a left.
Yeah.
All right, John. So I want put that on my list. Light years, and some video from the show.
Yeah, you're gonna have to write that down because everybody's giving me a list.
All right, I'll email it to you.
Krista, you're gonna have to give me a list if you want some stuff from Paris.
Right on.
In Paris.
Yeah.
And hey, anybody out there, if you want me to bring anything from Disneyland Paris, there's 2 requirements that I have. 1, you write it down and send it to me, and 2, you give me the money to go get it. Because,
John doesn't have a black American Express card.
Yeah. No, and I'm sure that my boss would probably not appreciate me trying to put on a company card. So, yes, just mail that to John Donahue Caro at DisneyParksPodcast.com.
Yeah, I bet you're going to get a list, buddy.
Hey, bring it on, people. That's okay. I can always say no. Well, we wanted to do something a little different. We do a lot of lists around here, but we've never done a top 10 list. Normally, we keep our list to 5, but this week, the topic that we chose, we could not keep the list to 5 because we wanted to talk about our top 10 featured animated classics from Disney and Pixar. And I don't know about my fellow podcasters, but this was possibly one of the hardest exercises that I've ever had to do is pick just my top 10 favorites. And I think I made about a dozen lists, and movies changed, and I brought movies in, and I took movies out. But the thing that brings us all together with the Disney community is really not just the parks, but it's really a love for the animation. Walt was a trendsetter in the animated process. He wanted to create incredible movies that featured animation. And I think, I've often said this to my lovely wife, that if there was ever an opportunity for a time machine to be made, I would love to go bring Walt into the future, and I would love to show him the first 15 minutes of Up. I would love to show him Paper Man, and I would love to show him La Luna. Those 3 things, because I think that the first 15, all of those 3 things, outside the fact that they're all Pixar, what those 3 things have in common is there's no talking at all. And that, well, La Luna has some grunting, but that's a little different. But all of those three animated, the 15 minutes of Up and then the other two shorts, tell incredibly heartwarming, touching, emotional stories, and it's all through animation. And that kind of love and passion is kind of what we bring to the table with the Disney parks, because I love Walt Disney World, but I love the animation. So we thought that we would take some time and unpack our top 10 favorite animated movies, and we're keeping it to Walt Disney and we're keeping it to Pixar because, hey, we're the Disney Parks podcast. So Tony's going to start first, and so what's your favorite Disney movies, my friend?
Yeah, I agree with you, John. This was one of the hardest things I had to do. We try to stick to the top 5 things, and for me, I couldn't even get 5 on the list. I got 5 on the list, and I'm like, well, that's not really my list. There's more than that. And this list too is really kind of a mixed list, because I have 5 Disney films and I have 5 Pixar films. I probably could have made a top 10 for Disney and a top 10 for Pixar, or I could have said these top 10 Disney and all of these Pixar films on the other hand. And the other thing too is, I have vivid memories of as a kid, there was a movie theater the next town over, and going there on Saturdays and seeing like a Disney cartoon before the movie started, or a couple of Disney cartoons, and then a Disney either animated film or one of the great live actions. And I think we're going to have to come back to our top 10 or top 5 live action Disney films, because there's so many great live action films too. So
yeah, absolutely.
So the other interesting thing about my list is you could take the top 3, and that would be my top 3, but everything below that could be really in any order. I'm not saying that is my order of favoriteness, below the top 3. You can mix anything below that top 3, and I'd be fine with it. Right. So starting with my number 10, and it really doesn't have to be 10 on my list, but Brave. It's a new Pixar film. If you haven't gone out and seen it, you haven't seen it on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever player device you have in your house, you have to go get this movie. It is spectacular. The story is fantastic, and I really thought that they had real live pictures of Ireland. I was blown away. I was really that taken back by the great art that they did in this movie. Number 9 is Little Mermaid. I think I fell in love with this because of A, the music, and B, the story. The story and the music, I think the story tells, the music tells the story, and the story helps, enhance the, the way the music is coming through in this film. I could probably watch The Little Mermaid on a reel all day long and not be bothered by it. I think it was that breathtaking. And this was I think Disney's first attempt at kind of water, under the sea kind of animation too. They really haven't done anything up until this point. And this was, the Eisner era. This was Katzenberg, driving Disney's animation at the time. And, out came a lot of things. There was Aladdin, there was Beauty and the Beast, and there was Little Mermaid, and it just went on and on. It was like the Disney hit factory they were making.
And don't forget The Lion King.
I think this was a great time in Disney animation, and I think they're starting to come back to this, and it starts with story and good music. Number 8 is Wreck-It Ralph. Now, it's a Disney film. It's not hand-drawn animation. It's, their take on computer-generated animation. But I think the story was great in this movie. I really think that, they took a good, shot at computer-generated animation. I think they did a great job with the film. I really enjoyed it. Number 7 is Cars. I like that Pixar can take these inanimate objects, give them faces, and breathe life into these little cars. I'm blown away at that. You really get attached to these characters. Lightning McQueen and Dusty and the the Mack, the truck, and you really want to find out more about them and where they're from, and I think they do a great job of bringing these things to life. As John said, number 6 for me is Up. Like you said, the first 15 minutes just blows you away. You forget that there's no talking going on. Inside your head there's a story going on. You hear the story, but there's nothing being said. So Pixar killed it with that. And then, like you said, the short did the other nail in the coffin. Number 5 is Monsters, another Pixar film. So I got my Pixar films right in the middle there. Monsters, I think, was fantastic because Pixar made hair come to life. Sully had a lot of hair. It looked real. It looked like, he was, when he walked, his fur had some swagger to it. A great story, as always, as Pixar delivers a, great story. And I am excited to see Monsters University, the prequel, because I think they're going to have another home run on their hands. Yeah. Number 4 is Peter Pan. I just like the story of Peter Pan. I like the story of Peter. I like the movie Hook, which is another version of Peter Pan. But for me, I like the character. I like the story. I think, I think they did a great job. The flyover scenes in Peter Pan, for animation, that's hand-drawn stuff. The multiple layers of backgrounds to make you feel like you're flying. Yeah. Where else, who would have thought of that in the, what was that? I think it was done in the 40s. That's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't have a list without having Snow White. That was, the start of it all. Mm-hmm. Snow White was, Disney's first film. He brought the company to the brink of bankruptcy to make this film, and it was a huge, huge, huge box office success. They say it would have been, as much as, Gone with the Wind, if you, take into account, inflation and things like that. That Snow White would still crush Gone with the Wind.
Wow.
So, and who doesn't love Dopey? Come on. Dopey's the cutest little guy. Mm-hmm. Aww. Yeah, you have to have a little place in your heart for Dopey. And he doesn't say a word. There's another character that sucks you in, and he doesn't say a word. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the thing, and that's on my list too. One of the things I was going to mention, I'll go ahead and mention it here, is that's just the brilliance of the Disney animators back in the day. And that was Walt focusing on every nuance of the story, not caring about budget, mm-hmm. not caring about anything other than telling a perfect story, drawing perfect pictures, animating perfectly, and what we get is an incredible classic that still stands up against, modern animated features. I mean, this is a great film.
Yeah. And they did this, I was looking back at some notes I had. They did this with like 147 artists and animators. I mean, back in that day, that's not, that was probably a lot for them. But today, if you look at the credits of, Brave, there's 147 people in the first 3 seconds of the credits.
Yeah.
So I think they did a great job. Number 2 is a favorite of mine, really for the music. I just love it. I love the story, I love the characters, but I love the music. I could play the Jungle Book soundtrack all day in my car. I think that was a great choice of music. They gave it this nice jazzy feel. There's a Louis Armstrong version I love. There's many versions of those the Jungle Book songs, and you have to give them a listen. Anybody that knows me knows my number 1. I probably don't even have to say it. It's I've said it here 1,000 times. I'll say it again. It's Toy Story, and it could be Toy Story 1. It could be Toy Story 2. It could be Toy Story 3. Pick a Toy Story. Yeah, they're all good. Once again, Pixar went to inanimate objects, toys, and gave us a plethora of toys that we fell in love with. Who doesn't love Buzz? Who doesn't love Woody, Jessie, Ham, Rex, you name it. The soundtracks to these are also good. Randy Newman who's I guess the Pixar musician. Yeah, I think he's done almost every film. He's like the John Lasseter of music. But once again, great story. Toy Story 3, I think, was their blockbuster of the series. If that was the end, I'm fine with it. Hey, would I love to see Toy Story 4? Yeah, I would. I'd go. But the way they ended Toy Story 3, I saw it in the movie theater, and all the adults are going, you could hear them all holding back the tears. They were all trying to do it. You know, some were successful, some were not. But that ending scene, if you haven't seen the movie, and I'm not going to give it away because I think everybody should go see it, you know, will bring you to tears. And even if you haven't seen the other two, I think you'll still go to tears at the end of that movie. So that's it. That's my top 10 list. Like I said, I could have probably done a top 20 list.
Yeah.
But that's it, kids. That's my.
That's a great list.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal list, and there's going to be some repetition, I'm sure, in all of our lists. Somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and give you my list, and we'll save the. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that.
You can be the rose between two thorns.
Oh,
there you go.
Nice. See, you're right at home here. My list had a few of the same things that Tony had, with a couple of additions. No Disney list on any podcast or blog can just be the allotted number. So I have an honorable mention. And my honorable mention is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Oh, nice.
I love this movie. It's two short movies combined into one feature. And I do love the story of Ichabod, which is basically the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Love the animation, love the comedy in it, the slapstick, the gags, as the animators would say. But what really makes me watch this over and over again is the story of Mr. Toad and the subsequent Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. That is something that I have to do every time I go to Disneyland, because they unceremoniously took it away from us. Even before I was a Disney fan, I was a fan of Mr. Toad. So got to throw a shout out to Ichabod and Mr. Toad. I love the old Disney style of animation, and this was just classic. From the pulling of the book off the shelf to the opening of the cover to the narration from Basil Rathbone, and I just love it. There's another guy that's doing narration. I can't think of his name right now. So my official list, number 10, Tarzan. Love this movie. Love the story. I'm a huge fan of the Tarzan series. Edgar Rice Burroughs. I read all the John Carter stuff, so I do love Tarzan. But the music for this, as a drummer, as a musician, how can I not love, Tarzan? Phil Collins playing drums. We've used the music here on the podcast a lot. The kitchen, not the kitchen sink. We've used the music here on the podcast a lot with the music from Wrecking the Camp or Tearing the Camp, where they use all the different utensils and make drums out of it, and they put a whole song together. I just, love Tarzan. So I love Tarzan. My number 9 is Cars. Fell in love with Cars from the very first time I saw them racing around the racetrack, and I really honestly thought that it was a live video of cars racing around. Just great story. Love the feel. The music was amazing. The heart that one movie has is just incredible. And I am looking forward to going to Disneyland and walking into that movie over at Cars Land, and I'm really hoping they bring it over to Walt Disney World. My number 8 is The Jungle Book. Again, being a musician, how can you not love this music? The story is great. The voices, it's all voices that you know from other movies. Let's just say that, the voice of Winnie the Pooh makes a guest appearance. It's just a great movie from top to bottom. Traditional Walt Disney animation with jazzed up music. King Louie is my favorite character. Baloo is pretty awesome too. So I love Jungle Book. My number 7 is Snow White. For all the reasons that Tony mentioned, who doesn't love this story, the way it looks, just from top to bottom, it's an amazing feature. And it really is the standard. It's the standard for me, for any classic princess story. Snow White's it for me. So my number 6 is specifically Toy Story 3. And that scene that Tony is mentioning towards the end of the film, when all of the toys are just fighting with everything they've got to survive, and that scene where Buzz just reaches towards the camera, so to speak, and puts his hand out, just gets me every time. Because there's a generation of kids that grew up with these characters, and I feel like I've kind of grown up with them, and the thought of losing them was too much for a lot of us. We were just crying because it was just so well done. That's another one of those scenes that I wish Walt could see, where it's just there's so much emotion built up into this animated. It's just pixels of computer animation. It's just brilliant. I love everything that Pixar does. It's just awesome.
Yeah, that's good. The other interesting thing about that movie is the person that plays Andy, the voice character that plays Andy, has also grown up with these characters. And I think there's some interviews out there. If you go listen, Google for Toy Story 3, you hear him talk about having to kind of let go of the characters himself. So it's good story.
I also like what Pixar's done with the shorts that they've been releasing.
Yeah.
With the the Dino Dance Party, not the name of it, but that was great. And they've done a couple other things, little short features, and I think that's great. I could see where it could become really cheesy way down the future. I would love to see a Toy Story 4, but I'm really happy with the 3 that we have.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm okay with that. I think they did really well. I think to the same degree that Star Wars was a trilogy and it should have stayed a trilogy, I'm okay with Toy Story staying a trilogy.
Yeah, true.
My number 5 is relatively new, and this was a toss-up to me because I was leaning towards Wreck-It Ralph, and I could watch Wreck-It Ralph a million times and be happy. I just think it's great. I love the story and everything. But I landed on Tangled because the scene where they're in the boat and they are raising up the lanterns, and I know I'm a guy and it's not cool or manly to say something was just beautiful. It literally was breathtakingly beautiful.
Yes.
Some of the best animation in modern history, in my opinion. Just seeing the lanterns and the way they played with the air and the light, that took an incredible amount of talent. Loved the story. I thought it was great from top to bottom. And frying pans, right? Who knew? So that's my number 5.
Assault weapon of choice.
That's right. It's
there
an assault weapon of choice. My number 4 is The Incredibles, and I'll tell you why. I love Bond films. I love that feel. I love that style. The Incredibles is very stylized. It's very retro feeling. The music was very Bond-esque. I think they had a nice they had a nice balance of the retro superhero with the Bond-esque, with a supervillain living in a volcano with a lava wall that would move and he would go in and out of the room. I loved all of it. I thought it was great. And this is what I love about The Incredibles. Brad Bird went and did like one of the Mission Impossible movies, and it was the best Mission Impossible they've ever done. So this guy knows how to tell a great spy/adventure story. And The Incredibles just has that feel to it. I love the family dynamics, but I just really love the whole look and feel of this movie. It's just awesome. Love it.
Another fact about The Incredibles was it was, I think it still is, the only Pixar film that's rated PG because of the violence of killing.
Yeah. Would you say killing?
Killing? I don't know.
Because
gunfire, missiles.
Yeah, there's violence. It's a pretty violent movie for an animated film.
Yeah.
And I also love that two of the 9 old men make a guest appearance at the end of it. So the 2 old guys that say there's no school like the old school are fashioned after 2 of the 9 old men.
Right.
So just love that. Nice little throwback. Yeah. So that's my number 4. My number 3, Up. If the first 15 minutes of Up don't make you cry, you have no soul. I promise you that. You have no soul at all if the first 15 minutes of that movie doesn't make you cry. I love the look of this movie, the artwork. I'm a big fan of the art of books. Like they come out with like the art of Up, the art of Toy Story. They're these big, oversized, coffee table books that Pixar puts out. And I love just going through the artwork and seeing, the mock-ups of the stuff they do. There's just so much in this movie that is just a classic, Disney animation, classic storytelling. And, who doesn't love Doug? My name is Doug. I just met you, but I love you, I'm a dog guy, so I love this movie. And, Sarah and I just moved recently to the Orlando area, and our mailbox looks pretty bad. So we're going to go get a brand new mailbox, a white mailbox. We're going to go get some paint. We're going to put our handprints on it, just like Carl and Ellie did. So I'm really excited about that. My number 1 and number 2 was very difficult because I could easily interchange these two. I am a huge Stitch fan. And I love Lilo and Stitch. So that's my number 2 because I love the Hawaiian vibe. Polynesia is my favorite resort. But I love the story of this movie. I love the scene where Stitch takes the book out into the woods, and it's the story of the ugly duckling. He reads it, and, the duckling says he's lost, and he flips the page, and then his family shows up. And then Stitch does that, and his family doesn't come. And that kind of wrecked me the first time I saw it. And so that's always resonated with me for some odd reason. But I just think it's a great story. The second Lilo and Stitch was pretty good. I watched some of the TV series as well. I just love the characters. I love the family dynamics. And I love the fact that the main characters were very flawed. Most Disney movies, they have characters who are sort of flawed, but they're, it's just a little tweak here and there, like Snow White, who has no flaws at all. But I love that these characters were they kind of were real. There was a family tragedy, and these 2 sisters have to learn to live together, and the older sister has to take care of the little sister, and they fight and they scream, and it just seemed very real to me. And they placed this unreal situation of an alien landing in their backyard. I just think it's a great story. So that's my number 2. So my number 1 is Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. I love the story, of course. I'm very excited about Finding Nemo 2 coming out, Finding Dory. But the main reason I love this movie so much is just how it looks. Tony and I were very lucky to be able to take part in a screening that they did for bloggers and Disney fans, where it was when they released the movie in 3D. You were there, right, Tony?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I thought so.
It was mind blowing.
Yeah. It's just such an incredible movie, just for the visual aspects. The story's great. Characters that you love, for me, as much as the Toy Story people. So I think I kind of fall on Ellen DeGeneres' side, say it's, they've had 3 Toy Stories and they haven't had a Finding Nemo sequel. And that's an injustice I think they're getting ready to rectify. So I'm looking forward to it. Love Finding Nemo, and I love Finding Nemo of an Animal Kingdom. So it's just a great visual piece of art, and it's just a cool movie. So that's my top 10.
That's an awesome list. It was really good.
And once again, Finding Nemo is things that don't have a voice having a voice.
Right.
And Pixar's great at bringing those, things to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put an expression on a fish's face. I don't know if they do, or a car's face. Like, amazing.
Yeah.
And if you ever get a chance to watch some of the behind the scenes stuff, I'm that guy that buys like the deluxe DVD.
Oh yeah, you have to.
So I could see all the behind the scenes stuff, and they talk about one of the scenes where, Nemo's looking up at his dad, and they had to go through it and fix it 4 or 5 or 6 times because, he wasn't looking at his dad. He looked like he was dead. He didn't look like he had any life to him. And then just went back over and over and over it. When they got it right, it's just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So there's so much that goes into the art of animation. So that's my list. Krista, I would love to hear your list.
Yeah.
Well, I have a lot of repeats, I think, but I tried to be a little original. It was really a hard task.
Yeah.
To reiterate what you guys were saying. But I think I have to start with Snow White. I mean, she started it all. It's no secret that I love Disney princesses. I have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/I love Disney princesses. So there you go. You can't.
Wow.
It's undeniable.
So you're the reason I couldn't get that on Facebook.
Yeah. I took that one away from you.
As Mater would say, daggone.
Wow.
So yeah, I have to start with Snow White, and then number 10 is probably Beauty and the Beast. Mostly because I ate in Be Our Guest restaurant today for lunch, and just was reminded again just what a gorgeous movie that is. What a gorgeous story it is. It's Gaston is amazing. He's hilarious. One that I had was a little different. I don't think you guys, either one of you, said Lady and the Tramp.
No.
So how about that? Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I noticed at the end of the Great Movie Ride today that they had the spaghetti scene where the dogs kiss each other.
Right.
Oh, so cute. And the music, you can't beat the music for that one. And then number 8, I put Bambi. The reason I love Bambi is because of Thumper. He's
who doesn't love Thumper?
Yeah, and he says, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That's one of the first movies that I saw that I can remember going to a movie theater and seeing was Bambi.
Wow.
Mm.
That's crazy. I was but a wee young pup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had been out for a while by the time you saw it, I'm sure. So it was already
And it has one of those scenes in there too that
a little scary. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't have a heart.
My favorite is when he looks at Bambi and goes, "Man is in the wood."
Yeah.
Like, oh, creepy.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great one. And I had to put Tangled on the list. Can't miss Tangled. Just same thing you were saying, John, about the lanterns and the music, and it's just a beautiful movie. With the Rapunzel bathrooms going in at Magic Kingdom. I mean, I've never been so excited about bathrooms in my life.
Okay, so I don't mean to interrupt your list, but you brought this up, and we found something very interesting. How do you feel about there being frying pans in the bathroom?
Yeah.
I feel fine about that.
Who keeps their frying pans in the bathroom?
Apparently Rapunzel.
I guess. You never know who you're going to have to hit with one, I guess.
The writer, he's got it, you never know. You got to protect yourself. So, or fry an egg, whatever.
Oh, God. Oft is the time that I'm sitting in the bathroom and I'm like, I should fry me an egg.
Yeah.
Immediately, don't wait.
Immediately, no waiting. That's awesome.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, I got to say Tangled. But then also, let's see, the next one I had was Aladdin.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Come on, A Whole New World. Are you kidding me? That's and that's from my high school years. I think it brings back memories of high school for me, too. The whole, the songs and all of that, and us singing it in the talent show, and it's just a great one. And the genie's awesome. He's hilarious.
Do we have videotape of this, of you singing this on a talent show?
Buried in the archives, deep in the archives.
Aladdin was an interesting movie. It, had a great story, had a lot of good songs and things, but it was like, I think I often feel like Robin Williams stole that movie, as the genie.
Show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Robin Williams stand-up animated.
Yeah, and he's at Disney Quest now, so you can see the genie all the time if you go to Disney Quest. So nobody else gets that role. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think whenever Disney calls, he goes, "Yeah, I'll do the voice again for whatever attraction or thing they're building." Yeah, I think he's got no shame in that.
They use them for everything.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
And then probably Ratatouille is my number 5.
That's a good choice. I know we didn't say Ratatouille.
Yeah, it's so cute. I just love that movie. And my mom is 78 years old, and my older sister, she was 18 when I was born, and we all loved it. I mean, it's just a movie that I think crosses generations, and it's just a touching story, and it makes a lot of sense. With the whole Food Network thing that's going on right now, I don't know. I just feel like it's just fits in good with everything. And at Chefs de France, to see Ratatouille, I mean, it just makes me think of that too, and how cool that is. I mean, he's amazing.
Now, go ahead, John.
I'm hoping that when I get to Disneyland Paris, the Ratatouille attraction will be soft opened.
Yeah.
Oh, that
would
be great. With that. Yeah, get us a
So man could dream.
Yeah, I'm not good with my animals, but is Remy a rat or a mouse?
He's a rat.
He's a rat. So then I have to say this. I like the mouse, Mickey Mouse. I don't know if I enjoy a rat. It was a great movie. I had a hard time,
and you're not the only one. Pixar had an uphill battle with that movie because of that main character being a rat.
Yeah.
Really?
But
I have a hard time liking a rat.
He overcomes his stigma and his adversity.
Yeah, but I read somewhere that when they were marketing it, when they were test marketing it, they had to come up with really cool ways of selling it, so that marketing it, because people were reacting so negatively to the rat.
It's a rat.
That's why the ads that you saw was the first scene was when they caught him in the kitchen and he was like thrown across the room and he stops in midair, and then you hear Patton Oswalt. Yeah. He says, "That's me. I'm a rat." Right. And he just kind of starts telling the story, so you instantly kind of connect to it. And I thought that was fascinating. But yeah, they had a little bit of an uphill battle because it was a rat.
Yeah.
Apparently there's not a problem with mice, but there's a big problem with rats.
Ironic. I don't get that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great movie, and even though I can't get Spence from King of Queens out of my head, because I know that's his voice. If you're familiar with that show, my husband and I like King of Queens a lot. Yeah. But I think number 4 for me is going to be Lion King. That's another one that's just, it came out the year my son was born, my oldest son. So I kind of associate that movie with my son, I guess. And like the music is amazing. And I did see it at the Bob Carr. I saw the Broadway production, which was
nice,
unbelievable. Yeah, it was awesome. Number 3, I couldn't decide between Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. Just too hard. I couldn't pick one.
That's okay. Have a twofer.
But Sleeping Beauty for the CinemaScope, and just knowing that it was just this cutting edge, film for its time, and it took like 7 years to make, and and you can actually see the different the way they filmed it is also at Hollywood Studios in One Man's Dream. You can check out the planes, or how I forget what it's called, but
multi-plane camera.
It's awesome. It's so cool. And just the operatic, the voice of Sleeping Beauty, she's amazing. And Cinderella, just because that's from my childhood. I still have a thing with Cinderella's coach. I don't know what it is, but I have a shirt with their coach on it. And
here's something funny. This is really funny. You're going to freak out when I tell you this. You remember when they released Cinderella, and there was this big press event when they were releasing it into some theaters for people to see it in the movie theater? It was like a few months ago. It was like 2 or 3, 4 months ago.
No, I totally missed that.
They had an event where they were getting rid of this right before they released it on DVD. And I didn't tell my wife this, and I said, "Hey, you want to go see this?" She's like, "Oh my gosh, yeah!" So we went. We started watching it. We got done with the movie, and she said, "What do you think?" I said, "It was great." And she said, "So how do you think it looked on the big screen?" I said, "I don't know. I've never seen it before."
What?
What?
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever seen that movie.
Holy mackerel, John.
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
buddy.
What did you honestly think?
It was great. It was just really great. I loved all the characters. I loved
mice. There we go again with the mice.
More rats.
Cinderella. It was it was really interesting because if you've researched any of the animation process and through the years how the animators changed their style for a lot of different reasons, but it was really interesting how she looked very perfect. She was just so perfect. Yeah. Perfectly drawn, the smooth skin and everything, which wound up being a signature. But the story, the mice, again, it's great character development. It's great animation. The gags in it. I hate the cat. I hate that cat. I just thought it was a great movie, and it was very exciting to see it on a big screen, and I really wish that Disney would do more of that, where they would re-release movies not just in DVDs to get the sell or the Blu-rays. I wish they would do actually big theatrical releases so that new generations of people can see these classic animated movies on a big screen.
Yeah, well, that was supposed to be that 7-year plan that they had, but I don't know why they used to do that. Before, where back in the day, back in the 80s when I was in retail video, they used to do that, put it in the movie theater, and then they would have the DVD release, but they don't do that anymore. Now they just come out with these platinum, diamond, gold, silver, versions.
Well, what was really interesting, what was really fascinating about it is there was a lot of kids there, and the kids own the movie, so they weren't really paying attention as much as the adults were, because a lot of the adults there, and I was asking people while I was there, they were really there so they could see it on the big screen because they've never seen it on a big screen. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a market for that. Like if Disney did like a classic animation movie series, I mean, from time to time, Krista, we do this. Disney, if you're listening, here's the deal. You have a theater on property. Why don't you have, a Disney movie, cinema series over the summer?
Yeah.
Where you're showing classic Disney animation one day or once a week or something. I would beeline there every week, and I would sit through the throng of screaming kids just so I could see classic Disney animation on the big screen. I would love that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
The Disney movie of the month.
There you go. Or the week, every week during the summer.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic.
And bring back some of the live action stuff, like the Apple Dumpling Gang and Flubber and
Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we've hijacked your list. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. Number 2, I said Nemo because it's Nemo. And Ellen DeGeneres, she's awesome in that movie. She's great. I mean, she speaks whale.
Hey, let me ask you a question about that. If you're like me, when you watch that movie, do you actually hear the music from Finding Nemo, the musical?
No.
I do. I'm odd. I know that.
How many times have you seen the musical?
Oh my gosh.
A lot?
I'd have to go off fingers and toes and then some.
Yeah, that's probably why, because you've seen it so many times. But, I mean, that's great, too. I mean, talking about Animal Kingdom earlier, there's no other place you can see something like that. That production is amazing that they do at Animal Kingdom theme park, the Finding Nemo movie.
Yeah. That's another one that needs to be on the big screen, because when Bruce does his little grin thing, Holy cow! When he took up the entire movie theater screen, and it was in 3D.
Oh, I can imagine. That must have been crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy, scary, funny.
I'd like to see that movie in IMAX.
Good Lord have mercy.
A 2-story screen in 3D. That would be awesome.
Yeah. You feel like Little Nemo, just so small.
Yeah, it would.
Absolutely. It'd be worth it though. I'd pay the money to go see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a classic. It's going to be hard for them to find Nemo again with Dory, I think, if that makes any sense. It's going to be tough. I'm sure it'll be great, though. I'm so excited about Monsters, Inc. And it was hard not to put that on the list just from the previews of the new Monsters, Inc. movie that's coming out. It looks like it's going to be awesome and hilarious.
Yeah. I don't have as much of an emotional attachment to Monsters, Inc. As great as it is, it's just the one Pixar movie that I don't have a real strong attachment to. I mean, I love Tony's line about, hair with swagger. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
I mean, if you took the face off of that you could, his whole hair had its own, was a whole character in that movie. Much like the hair on Brave,
Yeah,
Merida.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's right.
Yeah. Hair as a character. Should be Pixar's new tagline. We can make hair look like a character.
So what's your number one?
My number one, the first thing that popped into my head is The Little Mermaid. Again, I like to sing, so I'm big on the music and the songs, and now we call it hoarding, but at the time, I mean, it was really cool that, Ariel had all this cool stuff and she wanted more. It was okay in the 80s. But yeah, I just loved Little Mermaid.
Well, she still had a lot of space to swim around.
Yeah.
So.
It's totally okay.
So have you ever gotten a chance to meet Jodie Benson?
I haven't, no.
Oh my gosh. I would love to be there when, oh my gosh, no. But I would love to be in the room when you did.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'd love to have you there. We'll make that happen somehow.
We could make that happen. That's really a great list. That's a good list.
That is a good list.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So here's what we do. We give you our top 10 list of our favorite movies, and we will actually put the list in the show notes so you can go back and you can see what we chose. But what we really want to know is your list. So we encourage you guys to leave us a comment in the comment section below in the podcast, or shoot us an email at questions@DisneyParksPodcast.com. We would love to know your top 10 Disney movies and, why you chose those movies. So send that along, and we will read some of your lists next week. That sounds like a pretty good idea, right?
Yeah, definitely, because I'm sure we missed a lot. There's so many good ones.
Nobody said 101 Dalmatians.
And we should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Nobody, let's see, what else did we leave off the list? I mean,
oh my God. Pinocchio.
Wall-E was on my list.
Wall-E.
Pinocchio was on my list.
Pinocchio.
And I took it off.
Mm-hmm.
The Aristocats.
I think it would all... Just as, not that there's any really bad Disney movies, but I think it would almost be better to make a list of movies that we didn't like. Like Treasure Planet.
List.
Yeah.
Treasure Planet.
Brother Bear.
Tarzan 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, that's not a bad movie. I like that movie.
Yeah.
Nobody said Mulan either. That's one of my wife's favorite movies. She loves Mulan.
I love Mulan too. It was just so hard to pick.
Yeah, it's just too many really great movies to choose from. So why don't you guys leave us a comment and let us know what you guys think in the comments or questions at DisneyParksPodcast.com. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you the top 5 things you didn't know, brought to you by the Disney by the Numbers iPhone and iPad app. And this is where Tony Casanova from Disney by the Numbers brings us 5 things that we didn't know about a Disney park, a resort, or this week we're talking about Disney and Pixar movies. Since we did our top 10 list, Tony is going to give us his top 5 things that we did not know about Disney and Pixar movies. Take it away, Tony.
Thank you, John. Number 5. 1,800 photographs were taken of the city of Esfahan in Iran for the research of the movie Aladdin. And as we all know, Disney does this all the time now. They'll go to these places and take gazillion photos. I'm sure
that's
this is back in the day when they probably had film.
Yeah, this is just a way for the animators to get a road trip out of it, I'm telling you.
Number 444. 750 artists, 2 million drawings, and some 1,500 shades of paint is what it took to bring the Disney classic Pinocchio to the big screen. Number 3. 2 million individual paintings were used to create the movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. 2 million individual paintings. I would like to have some of those in my house. Hanging on a wall somewhere. Number 2. 10,286 balloons were animated in the movie Up. And I think this is really in the one sequence where the house, starts to take off. And I don't want to ruin that, but you'll have to go see the movie. And the number one thing you did not know about Disney and Pixar movies is 229 animation points of movement help Woody's face come to life. So, there you go.
That is insane.
Yeah.
So what that means is there's 229 points that somebody can grab a mouse and take it and pull it to where it animates Woody's face. 229.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's got, I think it was almost double than Buzz, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. Top 5 things.
That's great. Well, thanks for that list. As always, if you are interested in finding out more of the facts and figures about Walt Disney World or the Disney resorts or even the Disney movies, you want to go to DisneyByTheNumbers.com, and you definitely want to download the Disney by the Numbers iPhone app, which is available in the iTunes Store. It's available for iPhone, iPad, and iPod, and it is well worth the investment, especially if you're standing in line at a Disney park. It's great to play games with the kids, just to find out some of the information of the ride you're about to get on, or if you're on a Disney cruise, he's updated it, so it now has cruise information. So definitely go to the iTunes Store and get the Disney by the Numbers iPhone, iPad app.
Thank you, John. And now, from the wdwparkhopper.com, Parkhopper John, brings us the tip of the week. John?
Thanks, T. Well, here's a funny thing about Disney. If you come to Disney enough, you learn little tips and secrets, and that's one of the things that we like to bring you every week with a tip of the week. And if you are a guest or maybe a local deciding to park somewhere other than the front door of Epcot, and you're staying at the Boardwalk, the Swan, or the Dolphin, or the Yacht and Beach Club, did you know that you do not have to get on a bus to drive all the way around to the front door of Epcot, because they have a very special entrance just for you. It's called the International Gateway, and you can choose to ride a friendship straight to the back door of Epcot, or it's just a leisurely walk. I walked it the other day. It's not even 10 minutes to the parks. And what that does is you come into a special guest entrance area, and it's just like you would do at the front of the park. You come in, show your ticket, and then you come through, and you come up to a hill, and you are in between France and the UK, right where that big bridge is. And that is a great time saver for a lot of people who are staying there, because even before I was visiting Disney a lot, I did not know about that. So I was actually at the Yacht and Beach Club, and I decided to drive all the way up to the front of Disney. And then I walked around, and I saw the sign that said International Gateway. And I asked the cast member, I said, "What's that?" And they said, "Well, that's for guests who are staying at the Boardwalk Resort." Actually, it's called the Epcot Resort area. And if you're staying there, you don't have to drive all the way to the front of the park. You can come into the back door. And I felt kind of silly because I'd wasted about an hour getting all the way around there. And for those of you who have taken part in the Run Disney events, you know this area really well, because we always have to run down through it when we're doing the 5K, when we're doing the half marathons, and it's a great stretch to run through, and it's always a really horrible stretch to run through because you still have to climb that hill to get back into the park. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But I wanted to let you guys know about the International Gateway because it really does save you a lot of time. And the cool thing is if you're at Epcot for the day and you don't want to eat inside the park, you can duck out the International Gateway, head to any one of the resorts. And at the boardwalk area, they have a lot of really cool restaurants. And then you can pop back into Epcot, and you haven't lost anything. You're still at Epcot. You can see the fireworks, but you can pop in and out there, and you can have some really cool dining experiences. Or you could just walk around the resorts, and then you can jump back into Epcot because you don't want to miss Reflections of Earth. And, because you don't want to miss Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. And that's the Parkhopper tip for the week.
That's great, John. So this week's tip of the week is brought to you by www.parkhoppers.com. We suggest that you go out there to get more tips, news, and I believe you still have a newsletter, correct, John? Right?
We do, and it's a growing newsletter, and we're refocusing a lot of our energies towards it, so we're going to start getting those out even more, and we've kind of made some changes, so I definitely want to get you guys to sign up for that because we're going to have some really cool things in it that you don't want to miss.
Well, there you go. So you have to go out to www.parkhoppers.com to sign up and check out all their other tips and news.
All right. Well, our newest host on the Disney Parks podcast, the lovely and talented Ms. Krista Joy, is bringing us How to Do Disney Like a Local, brought to you by DisneyWays.com. So go ahead and take it away, Krista.
All right. Well, thanks, John. One thing that you need to know about doing Disney like a local is you get to take your time and you get to enjoy the little things because, we know that the treasures are really things you have to look for. And just the other night, we were walking past the Pinocchio Village House, which is the little quick service restaurant inside Magic Kingdom. And we saw a glow coming from inside the restaurant. So we went in to investigate and saw that, I don't know if this is a recent addition or not, but they have put in there what's called the Blue Fairy Wish Book. And so you can go into Pinocchio Village House. You'll see this beautiful blue panel. It looks like stained glass, and it's lit up, and you see the Blue Fairy. And they have a book there where you can actually write your wish down for the Blue Fairy. And they have a couple of pages in there that are actual real pages, and they remove them. They switch them out because we went back another week. The first time we were there, a kid had written on the page that he wishes his parents weren't alive.
And that's sweet.
I know, this kid, and he had crossed it out. It looks like he had second thoughts about this, so that was his wish for the Blue Fairy.
Either that or his parents threatened to kill him if he didn't change it.
Yeah.
One of the two.
When we went back the next week, that had been removed, and there were new, fresh pages. So, but it's a really cool thing to go in and check out and just, think about your wish for the Blue Fairy, write it down, and leave it for her in the Pinocchio Village House. So
I had no idea that was there.
Me neither.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You got to check it out.
And that's one of the great things about, and we, all three of us, I think the other two guys will agree with me, we don't say this to rub anybody's nose in it because we're local, and there's so many people out there that would gladly change places with us. We know how blessed we really are to be able to live so close to the magic. Mm-hmm. But that's one of the great things about being a local. We at Parkhoppers, we always encourage people, I know you're on vacation. I know you only have a limited amount of time, but if you really want your vacation to be as magical as it could be, don't try to kill yourselves and ride all the rides. Take some time and really go through the parks and look at all the things that the Imagineers have put there just for you to find and experience. And I've been by that spot probably a dozen times in the last 2 or 3 months, and I've never seen that. So I'm looking forward to going and checking out that Blue Fairy Wish Book. So that's a really great tip, my friend.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, I hope it's still there when you go, because, yeah.
I hope so, too. Otherwise, they'll be asking, can you tell me where the Blue Fairy book is? Excuse me, buddy?
That was for limited time magic, John.
Yeah, probably.
I have to of it on my blog if you want to check it out. It's a real thing. Didn't make it up.
That's awesome. Well, that's great. That's a great tip, Krista. And we want to encourage everybody to go to DisneyWays.com. And it's a great website, chock full of great information for locals and non-locals alike. And we definitely want to encourage you guys to sign up to be a subscriber to the website, because rumor has it on good information that you can win some great Disney prizes if you subscribe to DisneyWays.com.
Yes, that's correct. We do a monthly drawing. And all you have to do is subscribe, and you're automatically entered every single month. So
Sweet.
Wow,
Sweet.
Great. And don't forget to stop by teamparkhoppers.com and Team Parkhoppers on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Team Parkhoppers. And there you can sign up to join them to run and also help some charities. So I assume that John and Sarah will be running. Correct?
Yes, actually, The next race is going to be the Expedition Everest 5K obstacle course and scavenger hunt challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. And what we do is we try to get a group together, and it's probably going to be, the big push is going to be for the Tower of Terror 10 miler. And join the group. We send out some information. We send out a lot of really cool stuff to talk about. And we are going to be trying to raise money for different charities, much like the Wounded Warrior Project, where we try to help to get some wounded warriors back on their feet. So that's our goal right now.
And as always, we ask that you email your questions to questions@DisneyParksPodcast.com, and also give us a call at 407-476-8898, or just leave us a comment right here in the show notes, and we can see that as well. And as always, as we say, we'll see you in the park. Hello, I am Tony Casanova from Disney by the Numbers, and I ask that you stop by DisneyByTheNumbers.com, where you can read our news, our blog, see videos, sign up for our newsletter, and check out our photos and all the other good stuff that we have at DisneyByTheNumbers.com. You can also find us on Facebook at Facebook.com/DBTN page. I know that's a little hard, but you can follow us there. You can follow us on Twitter at DBTN. You can find us on YouTube by searching for Disney by the Numbers. You can sign up for our newsletter at DisneyByTheNumbers.com, or go out to iTunes and search for WDW DBTN Facts. And you can go out to iTunes and get our iPhone app, which you can use on your iPhone, iPad, and iPod. Check out WDW DBTN Facts on iTunes.
Well, I'm Parkhopper John, and I come to you from the www.parkhoppers.com website. You can find us on the internet at www.wdwparkhoppers.com. You can find us all across the social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, at WDW Parkhoppers. Please sign up for our newsletter. We have a lot of great information, a lot of fun stuff that we're putting in there. And you can always sign up to get our blog post articles sent directly to your email for absolutely free. We also encourage you to go out to teamparkhoppers.com and Team Parkhoppers on Facebook. Help us to raise money while we're running and having a great time at all these great Run Disney events.
Hi, this is Krista from DisneyWays.com, where our mission includes bringing you exciting Disney news and information that's also sprinkled with Disney Ways treasures you won't find anywhere else. We want to help answer your Disney-related questions. We do post every single day, so we hope you subscribe to our updates by email. We do have monthly prizes for our subscribers, so you're automatically entered just for subscribing, and you'll be kept up to date with our coming events and all the things we have going on at Disney Ways. We can also be found at Twitter at Disney Ways, and we do have a YouTube channel that's a work in progress, but we'd love to have you there too. So check us out on the web.